As a pastor's daughter, I'm going to need y'all to take astrology and numerology seriously. As someone who grew up in the church and had to go to church every single Sunday, I firmly believe that everyone, regardless of what you believe, should have a basic understanding of astrology and numerology. I say this because all my life I was taught that those bodies of work were demonic, and in 2025, I found out a lot about astrology and numerology. For context, in 2025, I found out about betrayal happening behind my back in my marriage, and I went through a divorce as a result. Now, in 2025, I was 29. No one told me about Saturn return. If you don't know what Saturn return is and you're between the ages of 27 and 31, I strongly encourage you to look that up. But that's pretty much when Saturn comes back to the exact place that it was when you were born, and that happens every 29 to 30 years. Between the ages of 27 and 31, Saturn forces you to shed anything that's not aligned. And Saturn is a strict, stern, no-nonsense planet. So clearly with betrayal happening behind my back in my marriage, that marriage was not aligned and divorce had to happen. There's a reason why they say don't make major life decisions before your Saturn return, like getting married, buying a house with someone, having kids. Thankfully, I don't have any kids, but the point is that Saturn will return and test the decisions that you made before its return. The church didn't teach me that. And not only that, I also learned that 2025 was the year of the snake according to the Chinese zodiac. Now, what does that mean? I was born in 1995, which according to the Chinese zodiac is the year of the pig. According to Chinese astrology, the pig and the snake are enemies. So I was in my enemy year in 2025. I had no idea, right? Because I never paid attention to astrology like that. Like I knew I was a Leo, but that was about it. And according to Chinese astrology, your enemy year forces you to shed what's no longer aligned. So regardless of what you believe, know what your enemy year is so you don't start crashing out when things start falling apart. In addition to this, according to numerology, 2025 was a 9-year because 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. And in numerology, a 9-year marks the end of a cycle. So 9 years are about closing karmic cycles so a new chapter can begin. And 9 years are known for abrupt endings because they're about completion. So whatever has overstayed its time will be removed, sometimes forcefully. Now, the last 9 year before 2025 was 2016. If you know me, you know I don't talk about 2016. There are some years that you just force yourself to forget because PTSD, baby. You couldn't pay me to relive 2016, just like you couldn't pay me to relive 2025. I also found out last year that according to numerology, I'm a life path 11. Apparently, according to numerology, your life path number is like the most crucial number that you're supposed to know. I found this out in like the last 2 months of me being 29, and I discovered that not only am I a life path 11, I'm a 3811 according to numerology. If you don't know what that is, look it up. But apparently 3811s are one of the hardest life paths to have. And I learned that 3811s learn through separation. So through divorce, through separation from family. I experienced separation from my family in 2025 because they are super religious and they were not supportive of me divorcing someone who was cheating on me and trying to ruin my life. So I had to go no contact with them. Not only that, I also found out that in numerology, when your age reduces to your life path number, that is a year of major activation for you. As I said, last year I was 29. 2 plus 9 equals 11, which is my life path number. And those years trigger major life events. On top of that, in 2025, I learned that I was in a personal year 5, which in numerology represents change, upheaval, and major life shifts. So for me, that looked like truth coming out, betrayal being revealed, getting a divorce. And the timing lined up whether I knew the astrology or numerology or not. I say all this to say it would have been nice to have this information prior to 2025, but at least I know now and can make sense of the chaos that I went through in 2025. So when people say, I don't believe in astrology, I don't believe in numerology, they're not belief systems. They're bodies of work that study patterns and cycles that we're already living inside of. And you don't have to replace your faith to understand the season that you're in. Use me as a case study. I didn't know any of this when my life started unraveling. These events happened whether I had the language or not. So my point is, before you crash out when you're in crisis, take a look at the numbers and take a look at the astrology. It's better to be equipped with information than to be blindsided. Not to replace God, but to understand where you fit in the bigger picture and to move through it with clarity, not confusion. I hope this helps because I wish somebody told me this before last year. Stay healthy and wealthy.